Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the new Coach Basics training. I hope that you managed to make it through day 1. There wasn't anything too difficult, just more of a hello and getting ready and getting started with a professional development book. Today is a really important day, and I want you to make sure that you complete this assignment. There's actually going to be 3 assignments for today, but it's so important to do this one because it's going to make a big difference in the rest of the trainings. And so today we're going to cover sharing your story. What is your why? We'll cover time, and then we'll cover goal setting. So I think it's important for you to know, why are you doing this? There's definitely something inside of you that made you want to become a coach. And it's sometimes hard to put down on paper, and sometimes it's hard to share that story with other people because maybe it's a place where you're really vulnerable. So I'm going to kind of start and share with you all my story of why I became a coach and how that has changed my life. So my husband was in the Marine Corps, and I had kind of found myself probably eating too much, eating too many bad things. We were living in the South, and I had found that I had put on a little more pounds than I had planned since I married him. And he was deployed, and I really knew that I needed to get on track. And I was running marathons. I was really active. I just couldn't seem to get back to my married wedding day weight. And it wasn't that I needed to get to a certain weight. I wasn't feeling good in my clothes. I was having to buy up a size instead of staying in the clothes that I was wearing. And I just wasn't happy. I didn't feel good about myself. And, sometimes I'm sure you can relate, no matter what it says on the scale, if you know you're eating right and you're not taking care of yourself, you just don't feel good. And that was kind of the place that I was at in my life. And, I also wasn't really happy with what I was doing. I had had a great job in DC before we got married, and moved to North Carolina, and had trouble finding a job to begin with, and then was doing something that I wasn't really using my talents for. And I knew that God had more for me. So anyways, I had started out with Beachbody products. We had done P90X, and Brennan and I did it together. And I kind of found myself to bulk up. It works for some people. It just didn't work for me. And then I had tried Shakeology, and I was a little hesitant right away. I didn't think it would really work, but my sister had told me about it. So I signed up as a coach right away because I knew I could get a discount since my husband was military. So if you don't know this, military spouses, active duty military spouses, and veterans and active duty military get all of your coach fees waived. So that's awesome. And there are some restrictions on that, but message me if you need more information. Anyways, so I had signed up as a coach from the beginning just for the discount on Shakeology. Fell in love with it. I had lost about 14 pounds. I, in addition to that, was eating much healthier. I had just changed the way that I looked at food. I wasn't craving things the way that I did. I felt better. I had more energy. I was also anemic. And, I'm happy to say after about, I think it was 7 months, I had a checkup, and 100% on all the charts. So I wasn't suffering from that anymore. It just felt good. And I knew that these products worked, and I loved it. So I continued that on my own. Someone had mentioned me, oh, you should become a coach and, actively coach. And, I just wasn't there and ready for that in my life. Anyways, fast forward. So I was then getting ready to start law school. Yes, I was about 3 weeks into law school, and God had just put this on me that I was not where I was meant to be. I was unhappy I had kind of gotten to the lowest place that I've ever been in my life. And I think it was because I felt stuck and I knew that this wasn't where I was meant to be. And, I knew someday I wanted to be a mom and I wanted to have time, and this just wasn't right. And so after about 3 weeks of school, I decided to not continue. And I left law school. I had left a huge scholarship, and it was scary. I just knew that it wasn't the right place for me, and had never been that low in my life. Just looking back on it, I don't even like thinking about it. But I found that low point in my life really helped me see what was important. And God brought the Beachbody opportunity to be a coach and to serve others into my life. And I cannot even explain how this opportunity has changed my life. It's so amazing to be able to do this every day and to have people tell you that you've made such a difference in their life, and that God brought you into their lives to serve a purpose. And it just changed my life. And once I felt that once one person told me, how I had impacted them, I knew that God was using me as a vessel to serve others in this profession. And it's just really exciting. I'm so excited to see what God has in store with me and being a Beachbody coach. So that's my story. I don't share it enough. And I think that it's important for you to kind of sit down and listen. You may have a completely different story, and that's yours. So think about it. And you are unique. You are different. There is no one like you, and there is a purpose for you in life. And this could be a really big part of it. And I can't even explain how it's changed me. I'm just so happy. I just love it. So anyways, I want you to think about what your why is. Write it down. You maybe filled out the About Me sheet, and that can kind of get you started, but think about it. What's your story? And I'd love for you to comment below in the post in our Facebook group if you feel comfortable with what your story is, or even better yet, I want you to create what is your why video. And before the 2-week Coach Basics training is up, that will be a mandatory thing because I want you to share it with people. So anyways, if you do it now, you're done. So that's going to be your first assignment, is to share what is your why. Why are you doing this? My goal long term is to be able to do this full time, and I'm happy to say I'm getting so close to that. And it's exciting to see how fast your business can grow if you put in the time now to do that. So there's a quote, and I can't remember it exactly, but it's, do what others won't do now so that you can do what others can't do later. And I'm probably saying it wrong, but put in the time now so that you can have the life that you want. It's crazy. I can't even explain it. So anyways, I want you to think about what your story is. Second, I want you to think about time. So, what kind of time are you going to set aside? I try to get up every morning and put in at least 30 minutes of following up, posting in my Facebook groups, messaging people. And then around lunchtime, I do work full time. I put in about 20 minutes following up with people, answering messages. And then in the evening, I really kind of devote time to starting new conversations and just connecting with people. And that's what this is. This whole business is connecting with people. And it's a lot of fun. So don't get lost in social media. Really set your schedule and stick to it. Don't find yourself scrolling through Facebook. So think about what your time is going to be and how much you're going to set aside. I highly suggest at least an hour as you get started. And that includes messaging with people. If you have an hour and a half, that's even better. And then I also devote about 15 to 20 minutes of professional development a day. Sometimes it's way more than that, just because when I'm on my commute, I pop in my headphones, I listen to a podcast, I listen to the National Wake Up Call. If you haven't already, download the Team Beachbody podcast on your phone, and you'll see all the National Wake Up Calls on there. It's just so convenient and motivational. It keeps you in the right mindset. So make sure you're setting aside time for that. And then I want you to share what your goals are. So it's really important to set goals. This will connect with your why, but what are 10 goals that you can set for this year? And it could be on a personal level, what's your fitness journey? It could be how many people do you want to help? It could be, is there a number that you want to earn in this business by the end of the year? I know individuals who, after a year, are earning $1,000 a week. That's definitely possible. I am probably around $400 per week, give and take. Some months are less than that, or some weeks are less than that. So it's definitely possible, depending on how much time you put in. And if you have doubts, that's okay. We all have doubts. I always just think to myself, this is such a great opportunity. And if I don't share it with somebody, I'm being a disservice to people, whether it's the business opportunity or a challenge. I mean, you all have witnessed the power of a challenge pack and what it can do in your life and change your mindset and change your body and change your health. So be a vessel to share that with others, and don't have those doubts. If you do, it's okay, but just be open with yourself and give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself, and just let yourself go at the pace that's right for you. So no doubts. Just keep going. And that's something that you'll find if you're reading The Compound Effect. It's doing these daily habits every day that are going to grow your business. And that's what you're going to learn about in this training. So I want you to set some goals for yourself, whether it's a rank, whether it's money, whether it's fitness goals, personal goals, what's important to you. So set those 10 goals for 1 year. And so just a quick recap. Share your why. That's your assignment for today. What is your why? Think about it. Write it down. Share it in a video in this group. And then I want you to determine what your schedule is going to be. We've kind of talked about this a little bit, but yesterday in the post, but share what your schedule is going to be on the group. And then the third is what are your 10 goals for the year, and set them, write them down. I recommend first sharing those 10 goals with your upline in a private message, and then in the group, just